Welcome back to Chasing Summer Sailing. Last week we left off in the middle of the engine rebuild. We are trying to put the injector pump back in right now. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hi. As you suspect, that's me. For the last 15 years of my life. I took that summer job in college and, well, I got good at it and forgot to leave. Don't get me wrong, I had fun too. I got to coach a college wrestling club for 10 years at UCF. But towards the end, I was craving an adventure. So, like most of you who are watching this, I found Delos, and I was hooked. So, like my namesake, Captain James Cook, it's the high seas life for me. So follow along as I prepare to join the 2025 World Arc. I pick up some friends and go off on an adventure. Alright, so the pump goes in this way. And those must be the 3 bolts that hold the side. And if you look down in there, there's a little keyway mark in that center. So as long as we angle it and the 3 bolts slide on there, that's where it should start. I have no idea where the nuts that hold that are. But I guess I'll be digging into that other box to see what goes on there. And I guess we'll go from there. The brand new motor mounts, those are nice. Put those on last week. But that's where we're gonna start. So right now we've got it slid on. I'm trying to get the process for you, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Line up the 3 bolts. We're gonna jump to the front, see if the keyway is lined up. If you look right here, try and shine the light. That's your timing marks. And these are the hash marks. Unfortunately, he didn't tell me which of the hash marks to line it up with. He just said, put it to any of them and you're good enough. Let's hope to God he's right, because I don't know how to do anything outside of that, but we shall see. So we're gonna jump out here. Let's see our keyway lined up. And it did not. So as you see, there's no keyway in there. So it is not in correctly. So I need to juggle that thing around till that keyway slides in there. It's gotta be close. Sorry. To slide that around in there until I can get it. Well, this is frustrating. I don't have the bolts or the nuts to lock those on there. They're not here. I can't see which of these would go there at all. So now I either gotta call him and say, hey, I don't have these pieces, and now I'm back to waiting on the mechanic, because apparently it's customary to take parts and pieces with you when you leave. I don't know what to say. I can take these guys apart and see if those nuts fit on there. I don't know that they will, but I can try. But then these guys, wherever they went, don't have nuts. I don't know what the best course of action is. I'm assuming that nut's correct. We put one in here. That'll hold that center on there. It's nice and loose right now because I don't have anything corrected. But at least we know where one goes. And it looks right. So, oh, that's frustrating. Because without those bolts, I can't put anything else back together. Because that's literally step one. Alright, so I can't take those two A's to find bolts because they're inside of there. Well, let's hope these fit, and then I can go get more of these, I guess. Well, we have some good news. That bolt, or nut, nut, did fit on the back of that. So that's awesome. I have 4 of these and I only have 3 of those I gotta fit it on. So I'll fit 3 of those and then I'll go buy 3 more of these. Probably some washers because it didn't have any spare washers. I don't know if these particular ones need them, but I'll get some anyway. At least I can lock that in there and then I'll go from there. I don't know what other pieces go where yet, but I'll figure it out. So try and show you real quick before I just, turn you off. So on the back side of here, there's 3 bolts that's... I'm going to go ahead and speed this up for you. So basically what I'm doing here is there's 3 bolts on the back side of this that it's quite difficult to get to. So I'm sitting there trying to figure out how he was able to get his hand back in there and put those nuts on the bolts on the back side of that. Basically, after fumbling around for a while, I was able to figure out how he did it and moved on. Alright, so all 3 of those are on there. They're nice and loose. That way if I need to adjust this. There seems to be some little bracket here that lines up with the little slot there. So I'm going to take my last little bolt, because maybe I'm not missing them. Maybe they just go and you put them together like this. I don't know. But I'm going to bolt this one together here to hold this backside. And I think that'll hold it up. Maybe I should have done that before. I don't know. But I'm going to put that guy on there. It looks like my stopping solenoid goes right there. That looks like it makes sense, right? Nope, there's 2 little bolts there. Bolt that guy to there. Pull that spring that I have out there, put it back on here. And that one should be put back together. Then I gotta figure out where this was supposed to bolt. It looks like right here. I don't see why this is so complicated. Maybe I just haven't gotten into it yet and I'm jinxing myself, so let's knock on wood. But I think I can do this. I'll keep you posted. Alright, I think everything's back in. So quick overview. If you ever get into this problem, don't hire a mechanic. You can do it yourself. It's not so bad once you understand how it works. And if you take it apart, you don't have to guess like I did. So these are your fuel line rails, whatever those are called. And they go one, I guess every engine's different. Mine, it goes 1 to 1. You'll find it in your manual. 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 4. Okay. Tighten them and loosen them at one time. So if you're taking them off, work from back to front. If you're putting them on, front to back. Okay. And let's swing over here. Excuse our mess. All right. So this is your fuel injection pump. Looks complicated in a lot of things. It's really not. We've already taken these off. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hoses going back up into your fuel filter. 1 goes to the tank. So 3 into the fuel filter, 1 into the tank. That's it. Your throttle cable. That's going to get linked right down here. So as it pulls, it'll push or it'll pull back. Okay. It'll adjust that. All right. There's a little bracket here that mounts to that. You just pull it right off. This links right on down to here. It's the only hose that fits. Let's see. There's an oil line that keeps the gears inside here lubricated, comes up here, down, and right to there. That was that one I just found. Other than that, that's really the whole thing. To take it on and off, that is it. To line it up, there's a little line right here on the edge of it. It's your timing mark. On the edge of the timing mark, which is on that foot right there, on the bracket of the motor side are some hash marks. When you take it off, mark where it's at. As long as that's lined back up, you're good to go. Mine is shifted slightly from where I think it used to be, but I don't know where it was because, like I said, I didn't take it off. So that was kind of a bummer on my end. But if it runs like crap, we know the timing's off. Or one of many other situations. But so now what we need to do is I'm going to get fuel back into it. We're going to check the oil because I guarantee it leaked oil. I'm going to add all the fluids and then we can test it. And that's 2-minute summary of how that goes on and off. There's 3 bolts holding it on. Those are kind of a bane. The one in the very back is the worst, but if you can figure out 3 bolts and just remember where each of that goes, you'll be set. Don't spend $2,000 on a mechanic to replace this when he doesn't even replace it. So that is basically everything that we did to the motor. We went through injectors, we went through the injection pump, we went through the turbos. What I didn't film, or turbo, singular. What I didn't film was I also took apart the entire water cooler. I also took apart the entire air supply side, and we went through and cleaned all of that to make sure there was no debris. And after doing all that, there was 0 change in the motor. So we have fuel, we have air, we've got combustion, motor starts, just won't work under a load. So some of you probably already figured out what my issue is. And that leads us back to 2 videos ago. And I'm going to show you that right now. So right here, for those of you who don't see it, don't worry, I'm about to show you exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who do, congratulations, I did not. So if you're watching, you can see the blades feather back and forth. They're variable pitched props. So if you go one direction, they're pitched one way. If you go the other, they're pitched the other way. So basically what happened and what was the entire problem with my engine is when I took apart the prop, I moved the cone above it, not knowing that adjusted the pitch. I put it back together, it looked correct to me, and I moved on. So I changed the pitch of those blades, and those blades were so overpitched that the engine could not speed up enough in order to get the RPMs needed to move the boat. And that was the entire problem with the engine from the start. So it was entirely my fault from the beginning that my engine didn't work. That Yanmar engine was perfectly fine before I did anything. But once again, looking back into it, we have new injectors, completely rebuilt engine, new injection pumps, a new turbo. So it's all good things. The engine's basically brand new at this point. And we learned how to pitch the prop properly. Say that 3 times fast. Pitch prop properly. Anyways, that was the problem. It was entirely my fault, which helped my view of the mechanic slightly. Now, I asked him about the running gear before we started anything. He put his hand on the prop shaft, turned it by hand, and said, nope, it feels fine. Him being the Yanmar guy, I took him for his word that there was nothing wrong, so I didn't think to go any further. It wasn't until I talked to one of the local guys here at the dock, and he told me about another boat, a similar problem, and he said, get in the water and just check it out. So I got in the water, I filmed the prop, he looked at it and said, yeah, it's way over pitched. one more haul out later and had a diver who knows how to correctly pitch those props come in, and half day haul out, we were back in the water with a fully working engine. So that's going to end our engine rebuild series. Hopefully you guys learned some things from my mistakes. I feel like a lot of these videos you'll be able to pick apart my videos and mention a lot of mistakes. Good. If you're learning from them, that's all I care about. So, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and see you next time on another Chasing Summer Sailing.
My back, it's time to